Anna got a new job at Costco. She was looking for a stable position, and working in the warehouse of a large supermarket seemed like the perfect option. Her colleagues were friendly, the management was fair, and everything was going smoothly. However, she soon noticed some strange things. One of the employees, Sergey, went missing. No one knew what had happened to him. The management assured everyone that he had simply quit and moved to another city, but her colleagues whispered about his sudden disappearance. Anna felt that something was not right. One day, Anna was assigned to clean in an old warehouse that was rarely used. In this dusty and dark place, she found some strange records. The pages were scribbled with an illegible handwriting, mentioning some rituals and the old ones. Anna couldn't leave it at that. She began to explore the warehouse after her shift, discovering many locked rooms. In one of them, she found a half-decayed diary. The entries spoke of a cult that existed many years ago and worshipped beings from another world. After this discovery, Anna started hearing strange sounds at night. Creaks, whispers, and footsteps, as if someone invisible was walking nearby. She began to feel that she was being watched. One night, returning home after a late shift, Anna noticed a figure in a dark cloak following her. The figure disappeared in an instant, but fear had taken root in her heart. Returning to work, Anna decided to uncover the secret of the warehouse. On one of her days off, she snuck in again. Deep in the warehouse, behind a hidden door, she found a hall prepared for a ritual. In the center of the hall stood an altar, surrounded by ancient symbols. On the altar were photographs of the missing employees. Anna realized that Sergey and the others hadn't disappeared by accident. They were sacrificed to awaken something ancient and evil. Anna knew she had to get out of that cursed place. She grabbed the diary and rushed to the exit. But as she reached the warehouse doors, she saw that she was surrounded by employees in dark cloaks. The management turned out to be part of the cult. They tried to capture Anna, but she managed to escape. In the chaos, she set the warehouse on fire, hoping to destroy the place once and for all. Anna managed to escape and told her story to the police. The warehouse was destroyed, and the cult was exposed. However, she always felt like the shadows were watching her, and the horror she witnessed would never fully disappear. Anna left the city, but rumors of strange occurrences at other Costcos began to spread. Perhaps the darkness never truly goes away, but merely moves to another place, waiting for its moment. Thus ended the story of how one of the most ordinary places could hide the darkest secrets. When the new Costco opened on the outskirts of town, it was met with excitement and anticipation. The massive warehouse promised everything from groceries to electronics at unbeatable prices. People flocked to the grand opening, eager to explore the endless aisles. Among the new employees was Jason, a college student looking to make some extra money over the summer. He was assigned to the night shift, tasked with restocking shelves and cleaning up after hours. The pay was good, and he didn't mind the late hours, at least, not at first. A few weeks into the job, Jason started noticing strange things. It began with little noises, a faint whispering or a distant laugh when he was sure he was alone. He shrugged it off as his imagination, but the feeling of being watched grew stronger each night. One night, as he was restocking the electronics section, he saw something move out of the corner of his eye. Turning quickly, he caught a glimpse of a shadow darting between the aisles. He called out, thinking it was a coworker playing a prank, but received no answer. Disturbed by the strange occurrences, Jason mentioned them to his manager, Karen. She was skeptical but agreed to check the security footage. Together, they reviewed the tapes from the past few nights. What they saw sent chills down their spines. The footage showed Jason working alone, but in several frames, dark, shadowy figures appeared in the background. They moved quickly, almost too fast to see, but they were there, watching him. Karen decided to dig into the history of the land where the new Costco was built. She discovered that the area had once been home to an old asylum, Blackwood Sanitarium, which burned down decades ago under mysterious circumstances. Many patients and staff perished in the fire, and rumors suggested that the land was cursed. Armed with this knowledge, Jason felt a sense of dread as he returned for his next shift. That night, the strange occurrences escalated. Shelves toppled over on their own, lights flickered, and the whispers grew louder, more insistent. As he worked in the freezer section, he felt an icy hand on his shoulder. Whirling around, he saw nothing but rows of frozen goods. Panic set in, and he fled the freezer, only to find the store plunged into darkness. Desperate, Jason grabbed a flashlight and made his way to the electrical room, hoping to restore the power. As he navigated the dark aisles, the shadowy figures appeared again, closer this time. Their forms were clearer now, pale faces with hollow eyes, reaching out to him. Reaching the electrical room, Jason found the circuit breaker. Just as he flipped the switch, a cold, ghostly hand clamped around his wrist. He screamed, yanking his arm free and turning to face the spirit. The lights flickered back on, revealing a horrifying sight. The ghostly figures surrounded him, their eyes filled with sorrow and anger. Jason backed away, realizing that the spirits were trapped, seeking release. With a surge of courage, he remembered a passage from an old book on hauntings he had read in college. He began to speak aloud, reciting a prayer for the dead, asking for their peace and forgiveness. The ghosts paused, their expressions softening, and one by one, they began to fade. The next morning, Karen found Jason exhausted but unharmed in the electrical room. He explained what had happened, and together they decided to hold a ceremony to bless the land and honor the memory of those who had died in the asylum fire. Word of the haunting spread, but rather than scaring people away, it drew them in. The community came together, and the store became a place of remembrance and healing. Jason continued to work at Costco, but the spirits never returned. Thus ended the Haunting of Costco, a reminder that even the most ordinary places can hold extraordinary secrets. When the newest Costco warehouse opened in the small town of Ravenwood, the locals were thrilled. It was the largest store the town had ever seen, offering a wide array of products at unbeatable prices. For weeks, the store was packed with shoppers eager to take advantage of the new addition. Among the new hires was Lily, a recent college graduate who needed a job to pay off her student loans. She was assigned to the night shift, responsible for stocking shelves and ensuring the store was ready for the next day. Lily was excited about the job, despite the late hours. Lily's first few nights were uneventful, but as the week went on, she began to notice strange things. It started with a cold breeze that seemed to come from nowhere, making her shiver even when the store's air conditioning was off. She also heard faint whispers, though she could never make out what they were saying. One night, as she was restocking the toy aisle, she heard a child's laughter. She turned, expecting to see a coworker playing a prank, but the aisle was empty. The laughter echoed through the store, sending chills down her spine. While organizing the back storage area, Lily discovered a door she hadn't noticed before. It was old and locked, with no sign indicating what lay beyond. Curious, she asked her manager, Mr. Thompson, about it. He seemed uneasy and quickly brushed off her questions, saying it was just an old storage room that had been sealed off years ago. Lily's curiosity got the better of her. She decided to find a way to open the door and see what was inside. Late one night, after most of her coworkers had gone home, Lily managed to pick the lock on the mysterious door. Inside, she found a small, dusty room filled with old furniture and boxes. Among the clutter, she discovered a leather-bound diary. The diary belonged to a woman named Margaret, who had once lived on the land where the Costco now stood. As Lily read through the entries, she learned that Margaret's family had owned a farmhouse there, but they had all mysteriously vanished one night. The last entry was dated the night of their disappearance and spoke of strange noises and ghostly apparitions. As Lily delved deeper into the diary, the strange occurrences in the store intensified. The whispers grew louder, the cold breezes more frequent, and shadows seemed to move on their own. One night, she saw a figure at the end of an aisle, a woman in an old-fashioned dress, her eyes hollow and filled with sorrow. Terrified, Lily ran to find her co-workers, but when she returned, the figure was gone. Her co-workers didn't believe her, attributing her experiences to stress and exhaustion. But Lily knew what she had seen. Determined to uncover the truth, Lily continued reading the diary. Margaret wrote about a series of violent events that had occurred on the farm, leading her to believe the land was cursed. The family had tried to leave, but something had always drawn them back. One night, as Lily was reading in the break room, the lights flickered and went out. She heard the whispers again, now louder and more urgent. Shadows danced on the walls, and the temperature dropped sharply. Suddenly, the room was filled with ghostly apparitions, Margaret and her family, their faces twisted in fear and pain. The apparitions surrounded Lily, their voices filling the air with accusations. They spoke of betrayal and abandonment, of a land cursed by blood and sorrow. Lily realized that the spirits were trapped, unable to find peace because of the violent history tied to the land. Desperate to help them, Lily grabbed the diary and started reading aloud, reciting Margaret's final entries. She pleaded with the spirits, promising to find a way to lift the curse and give them the peace they deserved. As Lily read, the spirits' anger seemed to dissipate. The room grew warmer, and the whispers faded. One by one, the apparitions began to vanish, their expressions softening. Margaret was the last to go, her eyes filled with gratitude as she whispered, "Thank you." The lights flickered back on, and the store was silent once more. Lily knew the spirits had finally found peace. Lily shared her experience with Mr. Thompson and the other employees. They decided to honor the memory of Margaret and her family by placing a small memorial plaque in the store. The strange occurrences stopped, and the store returned to normal. Word of the haunting spread, and the story of the cursed land became a local legend. But for Lily, it was a reminder that even in the most ordinary places, the past could reach out and touch the present in unexpected ways. She continued working at Costco, but she never forgot the night she helped free the spirits of Blackwood. Emma had always loved the quiet of the night shift. Working at Costco after hours allowed her to focus on her tasks without the bustle of customers. But recently, the store had felt different. There was an unsettling stillness that made the hair on the back of her neck stand up. It started with little things, lights flickering, the occasional sound of footsteps when she was alone, and the feeling of being watched. Her co-workers joked about the Costco ghost, but Emma couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. One night, Emma was restocking the canned goods aisle when she noticed something odd. Entire cases of food were missing, though she had just placed them there an hour ago. She checked with her colleagues, but no one had moved the items. It was as if they had simply vanished. Later, she found the cases in different parts of the store, stacked neatly in impossible locations, high on top of shelves or crammed into small, dark corners. It was as if someone, or something, was playing tricks on them. While searching for a misplaced pallet of paper towels, Emma stumbled upon a door she had never noticed before. It was hidden behind a stack of boxes in the storage area. The door was old, with rusted hinges and a heavy lock that looked like it hadn't been touched in decades. Intrigued, she brought the discovery to her manager, Tom. He seemed surprised and hesitant but agreed to open it. Together, they pried the door open, revealing a dark, narrow staircase leading down into the basement. The basement was unlike the rest of the store, cold, damp, and filled with an oppressive silence. Emma and Tom ventured down, their flashlights casting eerie shadows on the walls. They found old, dusty shelves lined with outdated products and forgotten inventory. In the far corner of the basement, they discovered a series of old photographs and documents. The photos showed the construction of the Costco, but there was something strange about them. In the background of several pictures, shadowy figures could be seen watching the workers. Emma took the photographs home to investigate further. Through some research, she uncovered a disturbing history. The land where the Costco was built had once been home to a community that had mysteriously disappeared in the early 1900s. The townspeople had vanished without a trace, leaving their homes and belongings behind. Local legends spoke of dark rituals and a curse that befell anyone who disturbed the land. The shadowy figures in the photographs began to make sense. They were the restless spirits of the vanished community. The next night, Emma returned to work with a sense of dread. As she walked through the aisles, the lights began to flicker more violently than before. She heard whispers echoing through the store, indistinct voices that seemed to come from nowhere. In the electronics section, she saw them, the shadowy figures from the photographs, now clearer and more menacing. They moved silently, their hollow eyes fixed on her. Emma's heart pounded as she realized the spirits were not just restless, they were angry. Emma knew she had to confront the spirits if she wanted to put an end to the haunting. She gathered her courage and ventured back into the basement. As she descended the stairs, the temperature dropped, and the whispers grew louder. In the basement, the shadowy figures surrounded her. Emma held up the photographs and spoke aloud, addressing the spirits. She apologized for the disturbance and promised to honor their memory. She pleaded for their forgiveness and begged them to find peace. One of the old documents Emma had found detailed a ritual to appease restless spirits. Desperate, she decided to perform the ritual. She gathered the necessary items and, with the help of her co-workers, set up a small altar in the basement. As she recited the ancient incantations, the room filled with a cold, otherworldly wind. The shadows began to swirl around her, their forms becoming more defined and human-like. For a moment, Emma feared the ritual had failed, but then the wind ceased, and a profound silence fell over the basement. The shadowy figures slowly dissipated, their expressions softening as they vanished into the darkness. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, replaced by a calm stillness. Emma felt a sense of relief wash over her. The next day, the store felt different. The strange occurrences stopped, and the unsettling feeling that had plagued Emma and her co-workers disappeared. They placed a small plaque in the basement to honor the memory of the lost community and ensure their story was never forgotten. Emma continued working at Costco, but the experience left a lasting impression on her. She often thought about the vanished community and the spirits she had helped to free. The legend of the haunted Costco became a local story, a reminder that some places hold secrets that can reach out from the past to touch the present. And though the spirits were gone, Emma knew that the shadows of Costco would always remain in her memory, a testament to the power of history and the enduring impact of those who came before.